welcome. Take it up with Jessica Lee. I'm here with Howard Cohn, who is the SVP at Sutherl Global, in charge of the retail and consumer packaged goods division. I wanted to welcome you to the show to talk about some of the best practices that you're doing in the digital transformation work. And Sutherl Global is such a huge company with $1.3 billion in revenue, and you have some of the very large clients. And I wanted to get your thoughts on what are some of the challenges that they're facing and how are you helping them? What kind of performance results have you seen that these could be tips to share with others who are not there yet?
At Sutherland, we really take a digital first approach. And what we do is we look across the customer life cycle and their journeys to help our clients really optimize their overall lifetime value, really to transform and automate their procedures and improve their top and bottom lines. So we have very tailored solutions for our clients, given which retail sector that they're in. We really power them by intelligent data analytics, and I'll give you some examples today. But we enable that through an omni-channel capability to really look today as COVID has taken place and a number of other changes have accelerated the move to digital. We've seen a number of our clients really doubling down and accelerating their capability to really move into what we call hyper-personalization and understand the nuances and behaviors of customers. We've seen a 2 to 3x difference, 200 to 300% difference in those clients that have personalized their interaction and made recommendations to their customers in their overall conversion. And while we do a number of different things to be able to help drive things like handle times and call volumes, we really are focused on more outcomes around overall conversion, baskets, trips, missions, and being able to help our customers understand why their customers are engaging. So we've seen a tremendous pivot from really a contact center to a customer relationship management center, where we're driving the highest level of overall customer experiences for our clients.
Okay, Howard, I'm going to ask to drill in a bit more. When you say recommendations and personalization, as a consumer, I shop online and I do see recommendations. So tell us exactly how deep and how personal is really the recommendation. How do you get it to be very accurate that you're able to increase to 2x or 3x the conversion rate?
Sure. So much of it is through self-identified information from a consumer, where they have either participated in a loyalty program, but we look at information such as POS data, so we can look at their past purchase history. We look at their coupon redemption. We look at how they engage and how frequently they purchase. And then we look at things like lookalike models that try to identify somebody like you, Jessica, that may have a aspirational value to be able to buy products, but maybe they're missing from your basket. So we use both predictive analytics to be able to understand what your overall purchase likelihood is, but we also look at your actual data to be able to make those recommendations. Then what's important is that regardless of the channel that you operate in, that you have that consistent feedback and that personalization. What we often see in the marketplace is what I'll call a swim lane approach, where you may have one channel, maybe your voice channel, where it's more identified versus on your chat or on your SMS or on your any other type of channel that you may incorporate through social or other means. So what we think is that there has to be channel equality in order for a consumer to really drive the overall experience and optimize their conversion.
I see. So not only is it deep and very personalized, but it has to be across all of the channels that you are really using throughout the day, and make sure that you're presenting that recommendation at the right time and at the right channel that consumer's in.
Right. So take as an example, as you said at the beginning of this call, if you're online and you're shopping and you decide to call in, there has to be a consistent passing of information from the e-commerce site to the agent. And that agent might be live. It may be an automated agent. It may be a chatbot. And so that information, that knowledge has to transfer accordingly. And so then it may be transferred to an SMS because you may want to be notified of your delivery or your purchase. So you can see very quickly in a very standard process that may be very easy for a consumer to understand, it's very hard to integrate all of that data and to have that seamless connection. And so that has to be frictionless for the customer, or else they will tend to be a churn candidate. And there's too many options out there today for people to have alternatives. They can go online so easily. So it's very important that you have that channel equality.
Could you share with us some of the trends that you're seeing? Is there a faster adoption through text messaging as a way of communicating? Is there a decrease in, say, phone calls to speak with a real agent? And there's more chat bot going on. Share with us what you're seeing as the trends.
Sure. So I think the overall trend that we're seeing is speed. Is that customers, and again, obviously with COVID, the store has now had to be replaced. So people have looked at what was happening in that store experience. How do I browse? How do I interact where I could before use a brick and mortar? And obviously that's now starting to open up. But in the digital side, what we're seeing is quite a move to how do you replace those types of things? So we're seeing a tremendous move to social, to where they're using the influencers and the ability to be able to see referrals and to see ratings for products. And that's replacing an in-store browsing experience. So we're starting to see areas like that. We're starting to see, not necessarily see voice necessarily change, but we're seeing customers really in their journey not require voice. They simply want to know, where is my package, or when will my order arrive, or what is a price point? And those can be simply answered by an automated bot, and that's what a customer prefers. So we're seeing a much closer inspection of the drivers of those volumes, and then being able to map those journeys. And we do a very deep process around journey mapping to understand what those customer preferences are. And so that when we move into digital, it appears very seamless, and it's driven by the customer. It's not driven by what you said at the beginning, just a desire to reduce. It's built on a customer path that is their preferred way to engage with a brand.
Excellent. Maybe you can talk about some of the mistakes that retailers or consumer packaged goods providers have as they're trying to improve this journey. What are some of the mistakes and the lessons learned?
So I think some of the lessons learned are one, for those that have a global presence, to be consistent across the globe and in each of their markets, while they want to be local and have a local flavor, to make sure that their brands are being represented properly, and how that gets conveyed through the ways that we communicate to their customers should be consistent. And there shouldn't be an accepting of a, if you will, a different point of view, and where you could hurt your potential brand equity. Other areas that we're seeing from retailers is really speed, and where there's kind of almost a digital irrelevance versus a digital relevance, where they are either being beaten by their competitors, but where they are trying to build it internally. And when there are providers out there that can potentially operate in an OpEx type of model, where you pay as you go and you pay by the drink, it allows them to be much more nimble and agile to be able to adopt and meet those customer needs, within the omni-channel. And one of those areas that I think is that we see a tremendous move for is really the consolidation of all of those channels. How do I build a single pipe to look across all of my channels so I can truly map a customer journey. What we're seeing is a lot of buzzwords, if you will, and not a lot of action. So a desire without the actual development and working towards optimizing that journey. And we think, that we obviously can help customers in a lot of those ways, provide some of those capabilities to help them accelerate that move to digital.
You must be seeing a spike in demand during this time when we can no longer go to the store and we have to go online. So those who have been investing in the digital transformation certainly now have to double down and invest a lot more and just accelerate all of this online shopping.
Yeah, it's really interesting because, like everybody else, Sutherland felt the effects of, COVID-19, but we were very fortunate to have our remote engagement capabilities, or what some people refer to as work from home, which was a core competency of ours. So we were able to pivot very quickly from large gatherings in contact centers to work at home capabilities. So when our customers, one, relatively large retailer decided that they had a large spike for Mother's Day, they wanted to be able to scale globally. And Sutherland was able to really meet those requirements around the world and consistently in 4 different countries to meet this large U.S. customers' needs. So we are seeing a very interesting increase in demand, and we're happy to see it. Thank you.
So you're providing not only the technology, but the people, the staffing to handle the customer service.
Correct. We provide the people, the process, and the technology. And so we don't leave you with just a recommendation. And again, at the beginning of this call, I talked a little bit about our design labs, where we really do a lot of listening, where we provide behaviorists and technologists and choreographers, and we really map customers. We go out and watch them and evaluate them and listen to them. And then we help map that overall journey. So we're able to really develop that overall process. And then we bring the technology to be able to support it in both the front and the back end. So we have some very sophisticated front end tools that provide all of the channel assimilation with the journey mapping. Then we have middleware that provide platforms that provide the insight to a customer and their personalization. As an example, if I'm a very loyal customer and I shop a particular store, you may choose that you want to route me to a particular agent that has a different level of experience. And so all of those types of things are very well known. The real pivot that we've now seen as though with the digital move is that the analysis that can be done of every interaction. So you see a lot of text, speech to text, you see a lot of sentiment analysis, and being able to digest that information in real time and act. So as an example, if you were calling and you were upset, we would have a meter that would really address and identify your sentiment, and we would be providing technology to be able to make recommendations in a live or automated fashion to that type of agent to be able to solve that particular issue. And so then we also do some really interesting things on the back end. So let's just say you're a retailer and you get 100,000 calls in a day, where retailers used to look at a sample size and say, let me audit 1 or 2 of those interactions, or maybe 10 or 12. Today, you can audit all 100, and through being able to do some very detailed analysis of that through any channel, and really look at trends and patterns, and be able to now communicate back within the organization. Maybe you had a new product introduction and your marketing people really want to know what did they think about it. Rather than take a sample, you can now look at every single interaction and understand what that introduction really meant to that customer and how you might course correct or solve that problem, because the ultimate goal is to drive conversion.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you being on the show, Howard, and talk about the innovations in how you service customers to drive better results for your clients. I appreciate the specifics that you're able to share, even though you can't share the names.
The key is, you know, we really believe in an individual experience, and we really think that through everything that our retail clients are doing, whether it be their FAQs, whether it be their knowledge base, to understand their user intent, to be able to meet those needs quickly, and to really provide that technology platform to drive that engagement. And as you said, that can be in a live or automated environment through any channel. Channel equality is critical, and that's what will drive your overall lifetime value of your customer. So thank you very much for having me.
There you have it, folks. Check it out with Jessica Lee, Howard Cohn from Sutherl Global.